We are here today, ASMR style, to do the news, to talk to everybody really quietly. I'm going to give it to Chief Oju.
Laying back, everybody. Welcome to the Vanguard, the internet's only ASMR anti-colonial news show. We got a lot of competition. But, there actually isn't any ASMR news show in general on the internet. So we one step ahead, 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead, like we are every single time during this revolution. So my name is Chief Oju. I represent the nations of Africa and Borican. I represent the working class, and I have some petty contradictions. And I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the chief of agitation and propaganda here at Black Hammer, getting to you what's going on in the revolution and what's going on in the world today. Let me help my other hosts introduce themselves. Go ahead.
I'm back, everyone. My name is Minister Cantule. You might notice a little bit of a change there. Yes, we growing out here, yes, I represent the nations of Panama and Colombia, and I have a petty blue background and am committing class suicide, and I use they them pronouns. I'm back. I'm also the Minister of People's Affairs, making sure that everybody is, got what they need, whether it is alerts on natural events, whether it is food on their table, or just their general health and well-being. That is what the Ministry of People's Affairs is about, is making sure that people are good and back.
A little bit of applause.
Lamp back, everybody. I always forget how to whisper. My name self-critical. My name is Watakame. I represent the Coca Novirarica people of colonized Mexico. I also represent the poor and working class. I use they them pronouns, and I am the chief of staff for the Ministry of People's Affairs. Also putting out those weather alerts, translating all the things, putting information out worldwide, so that our people can be one step closer to the revolution and life-saving information that we provide, with the help of other colonized nations. So yeah, land back and welcome.
Land back, everyone. And so make sure when you come in here that you share. Make sure you're liking, sharing, and most importantly, commenting. We love to hear what you're talking about. We love to hear what you think, unless it's colonial and racist. But even if we do hear that colonial and racist stuff, don't worry, we have an answer for you. So as much as you might not want to hear it, you're gonna hear what we have to say. Land back, Virgil. Land back, Thai Senegal. Land back, Beep Boop. Good evening. Hey, land back to Chief Ide, watching from Nigeria at 2 a.m. every single time. Salute to you, Chief Ide, for getting this political education. Yes, keep on sharing, keep on liking. Hashtag shared when you shared it. Every time you share, we'll give you a little applause. You hear all the people in the stands cheering for you? That's because you shared. Yes, they're cheering for you because you shared. So keep on sharing, y'all. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Black Hammer TV. And what else can the people do in order for us to make this revolution happen even faster?
Donate 5 for Shy.
Donate 5 for Shy.
Yes, you can donate 5 for Shy. Tell them why they should donate.
So that we can get resources for the people. Things like hand warmers, sleeping bags, even first aid kits to make sure that people aren't getting infections from just simple cuts, right? People don't have access to healthcare, especially if they're out on the street. And we need to make sure that they are safe, that they are healthy, especially here in Chicago. one of the new places that we've been to recently has pretty bad rats, right? And we're trying to make sure that they got what they need, and including just even trash bags, right, to make sure that their stuff remains clean, right? So yes, y'all, even $5 goes a long way, or 10 or 50, whatever you got. It goes a long way with us, because we put it right back into the people and back.
Laying back, yes, donate 5 for Shy at Black Hammer Shy on Cash App or Shy Hammers on Venmo. That's CHI Hammers with a S on Venmo. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, keep on sharing, y'all. We want to make sure that the people get this political education. And if you're a chapter chief, or if you are someone in the office, make sure you share with the people in your chapter and office. Share with your family and friends. Let them know, because guess what? Our people need this political education. It's one of the 3 pillars to ensure that we have a successful revolution. And so make sure you are sharing. And I see a couple of good shares. Thank you, City Builder B. And thank you, Chief Virgil.
Yes, Chief Virgil,
yes. Yes. Applause all around. Laying back. So we have an array of topics for today. And so make sure if you can't hear, get the volume up. We are ASMR, but, if it's hard for you to hear, crank it up. Because we ain't going to yell, because that might traumatize some folks after being so quiet for so long. All right. But yeah, we have an array of topics today. So let's get to it. Can you just tell them real quick what the Black Hammer Party is? We'll pick it up.
Yeah, so the Black Hammer Party, we're out here making sure we're an anti-colonial party, making sure that people know that they have the power. They have the power as long as they choose to fight for it, right? And we have to make sure that we tell our people, that information. We have 4 principles of unity that guide us in our decision making, and how we move, right? And how we move not just out on the streets, but in our homes, in our hearts, and we internalize them deeply. So you can go to blackhammer.org/join if you would like to learn more about who we are and what we do. Land back. And I think we're about to go into our first topic, y'all, so there might be a little bit louder than we speak, so be aware.
African and Indian students stuck in Ukraine are accusing officials of discriminating against them and pushing them back from getting to the border. Videos have been posted on social media said to show black people being prevented from boarding a train and left stranded at a railway station in Lviv as Ukrainians were allowed on. Others said they were turned back from the border and were even being shot at. Like this video, Indian students claim Ukrainian guards on the Polish border beat them up and didn't allow them. Tens of thousands of international students have been stuck in Ukraine since the war started. On Skype with us now from Warsaw is Monika Matus, a human rights activist working for the NGO Grupa Granica. Monika, thank you for your time. In your opinion, what's happening here? Why would, there's a lot of international students in Ukraine, as I've learned. Why the discrimination against them?
We think it's really just, honestly, first of all, I think it's on both sides. So the Ukrainian border guards are preventing people from passing through, and then the Polish border guards are not better. In this case, they are also actually stopping people and not letting them in. We don't know why exactly. I think it's just a question of not having Ukrainian passport. We hear about students from African countries, from India, from many other Asian countries. We also hear about people from countries that the people who actually were trying to flee the war in other countries, so Yemen and Syria. There's also people right now, we are solving the case of a Yemeni boy who is stuck at the border in Medica, who is trying to pass through, and there has been huge issues and problems to let him actually enter Poland. I don't know if it's solved yet right now, because I've just been on the phone about this case. And so I don't know what's exactly the reason. I think it's really just an issue of not having Ukrainian passport. And I just want to add that, the racism from at least Polish government and Polish authorities has been widely known already. We criticized the fact that, the Border Patrol is actually still operating on the northern Polish-Belarusian border, and they are still not letting people in and apply for asylum, whereas we are rightly so allowing Ukrainians fleeing war, enter EU without any issues, without any problems. This is blunt thing.
Wow. They say it's an issue of Ukrainian passports. This is what that lady's brain sounds like. It's just slop in there. It's just slop. It's just liquidy nonsense. Her brain's completely liquefied if she thinks it's just about passports. As someone said, we know that Ukraine is full of neo-Nazis. These are people and their descendants who are really supportive of, eliminating a bunch of their own people. And so we know that if they're comfortable with getting rid of their own, they are extra comfortable with getting rid of colonized people. And so as, all their families are fleeing, they're stopping, African and, Indian, not just students, but families and, people who grew up there their whole lives from leaving. And then if they do leave, they're preventing them from getting into elsewhere, like Poland. And yes, we're in Chicago. And if you know Chicago is the biggest Polish city outside of Warsaw. It's the third largest spoken language after Spanish. It's English, Spanish, and Polish here. Even I know a Polish phrase because of this. And there's also a lot of Ukrainians here. There's a whole Ukrainian village neighborhood here. And all we've seen is this support for this country that is, murdering and even disappearing some of our people. There's reports of African students even going missing and all this. And so, yes, it's another case of, white supremacy acting on our people again. And everyone is eating up that liberal war propaganda so much that they are just blindly supporting Ukraine without even thinking, because their brains are all like this. That's the liberal brain. All right, what are you thinking, Minister Cantule?
Yeah, I'm back. This is quite, it's a beautiful time to be alive. I really hope that the Africans that are in Ukraine are able to get asylum or get some kind of passage, right, to leave, and like get to safety. I really do. I believe it was Joe Biden that said that they should invade Poland too. Because it is also a what do you say, another Nazi country. It really is. I think you said that too the other day. So yeah, why not just do both? Keep it going. Just keep going to the left, to the, what is that, the west. Just keep it. It's fine. You got it.
Everything you own in a box to the left.
Yes. But I think that with how we move in Black Hammer, right? Like we want to make sure that all colonized people are safe and are well. And this is how the colony continues to hurt us, right, as colonized people. And it just continues to show, that they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter what the laws say. I don't care if, Ukraine had, gay rights or some crap, right? It doesn't matter now, right? Don't matter no more. And that's the thing, when it comes down to it, it's about that colonized unity. So, and that's what we're here to do and build. So yeah, land back. About the comment.
Land back. Y'all see this mound? Minister Cantunde engineered it very last minute, but it works wonderfully. And that's what happens when you have colonized brilliance that is dedicated to serving the masses. We love to see it. I also love all this fire in the comments. QC's on one right now. Better make it rain on Ukraine. See, that even rhymes. Like, they did it to themselves. The only westward expansion I like. Yes. Manifest that destiny. All the way west. No, yeah, this is exactly what we talk about. Sorry, y'all just heard me swallow my spit. I hope you like that. This is exactly what we talk about when we talk about people only cry when it's white people killing white people, right? Because even in this war that is everyone's been brain horny about, and just nonstop talking, the one thing they're not talking about is the colonized people suffering in this war too, right? They don't talk about the genocide and the wars in colonized nations, right, at all, to begin with, because we've been getting genocided since colonialism first started, right? And people don't bat an eye. That's not a new story. But even in this one, where it's their own people dying, and this is still, it's still our people getting pushed aside, which is nothing new to expect, again, from neo-Nazis, right? This is literally just the playbook. This is nothing new, and within the Ukraine, first of all, I don't even know what I can say. Well, I get flagged if I say it in Spanish. Okay, well, just look at QC's comment, basically. look at QC's comment, that's what we need. I have no sympathy for this white country who has been genociding colonized people throughout their history, I have no sympathy. I have sympathy again for the colonized people in those nations that suffer, right? Get our people out, and this whole issue of passports and whatever, F borders. F borders. The land didn't come up with them. That's the white man's creation, and our people should not have to die or live by them, and that's why we will get the land back and destroy all borders, and that will not be the basis of the quality of someone's life. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. There are children, colonized children, dying every day because of borders all over the world, right? Not just in Ukraine, but right now it's the white people in the Ukraine that are able to leave, right? And again, that's nothing new. It's white people that get to escape violence that they created, and it's our people that are forced to stay and work so that they can profit off of the war that's killing us. It's our people that are forced to stay within these borders that they created so that we're not only the loot but also the casualty of their wars, and we're done. So it's our time to rise. It's our time to fight for our people, because we're done dying over them or for them. We're done. If you're done, join the party. Do something about it. Don't just talk. Be mad enough to do something about it. Land back.
Yes, land back. Also, if you're wondering, how does this, and you might sympathize with the people over in Ukraine and everything, right? But if you're wondering how this war affects you, how it might affect your family, things like that, yeah, you know, these gas prices are also a result of all of this, you know, and it's not because of Russia coming and doing its thing on Ukraine. It's because of our government putting on all these sanctions, right? It's our government that's doing all these things.
Not our government, the U.S. government.
Yes, the U.S. government that's doing all of these things. And that limits, you know, how much we have access to just simple things like gas, so that we can just go to work, right? Go back to the plantation so we can survive, right? And, you know, that's, once again, how colonialism works. It's not just the colonization of one country, it's how the world responds to it, how these colonial countries respond to it, and the way that, you know, NATO and, you know, all those people, all these Europeans doing their thing, are responding to it is, you know, trying to put Russia in a tight spot, right? Trying to, you know, make them like, you know, without actually sending. Well, actually, I don't know. They might be doing some stuff, but we don't know. There's been a lot of hearsay, you know, things being said on the down low, but they could be. We don't know. But yeah, so that's how that affects us here, in the snakes, right, in the heart, in the belly of the beast. But you know, that's how all of this connect to us and connect to our people. So yeah, I'm back.
I'm back, yes. All right, make sure again you keep on sharing, and keep on liking, #shared when you shared it, so that we know that this great political education, these great breakdowns from Chief Watakame and Minister Kantule are getting out to the people, okay? So keep on sharing. But yeah, we're gonna get to our next topic.
A ceremony in Harlem today to honor the life of Trayvon Martin on the 10th anniversary of his death. Several speakers took the stage to remember Martin, including the Reverend Al Sharpton, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and Trayvon's mother, Sabrina Fulton. Sharpton said although his life was taken too early, Trayvon's death has served as the catalyst for the Black Lives Matter movement that has grown over the past decade.
We did not get justice in that case. Trayvon Martin's murder, assassination, was the impetus of a movement that has gone on ever since. What Emmett Till was in the 50s, Trayvon Martin has been for the 21st century.
Trayvon Martin was killed in 2012 when George Zimmerman, head of the Neighborhood Watch program at that time, confronted the 17-year-old as he walked home from the store. That confrontation turned physical and ended with Zimmerman fatally shooting Martin, who was unarmed. Zimmerman was charged with murder but claimed self-defense and was eventually acquitted.
And back. And so yes, 10 years ago on February 26th, Trayvon Martin was murdered by George Zimmerman. And I was relatively grown. I was 20. I was 20 years old. And I remember, you know, at that point, people always talked about, you know, racism. People, ooh, hopefully that wasn't too loud. People always talked about rising up. People always talked about, you know, really, you know, how do we move on, you know, especially after Barack Hussein Obama was elected. And that was a turning point. It was a turning point. And you saw that celebration, and, you know, you saw all those, like, you know, sellouts up in there, you know, like Al Sharpton, skinny Al Sharpton, who's even worse than big Al Sharpton somehow. You saw that pig mayor, Eric Adams in New York, and his mom, and Trayvon's mom, all in the same room. And it just hurts that 10 years later we still can't see the difference between our enemies and our friends and our comrades, right? That we can't see who's on what side, that we still let all these people in the same room. And it's because that, liberal brainwashing, that liberal propaganda, the identity politics has just gotten so deep, and it's gotten deeper with, these organizations like Black Lives Matter, who, I don't know, I know they have their finances questioned, but I ain't seen them for almost 2 years. Where did they go? They literally disappeared, y'all. Because they all live in this liberal world. They all live in this, world controlled by democrats who are just using your identity to further subjugate you, to make you further dependent on them food stamps, on that welfare, on all of that. And now, 10 years later, what has changed? Nothing. It's the same, except now, born out of the frustration of our people not being served correctly, is now a revolutionary party, the Black Hammer Party. That's what's been born out of this, to finally take a step and change these things. Because we're tired. We're tired of all these liberal Democrat groups leading our people astray. 10 years later, 30 years later, when he said that Trayvon Martin is what Emmett Till was for us, that's not an honor. He said it as though it was an honor, like, ooh, another one. We don't want another one. And actually, they're part of the same stream of people, the same stream of history of colonialism and contradictions. There was thousands of Emmett Tills and Trayvon Martins in between Emmett Till and Trayvon Martin. And there's been thousands after. There's no milestone person we're celebrating. What we're going to celebrate is our victory against the system that prevents them from even dying in the first place. So yeah, land back.
Land back. Yes. We are I can't say it right. MFing tired, as Comrade Dilf. Sorry, I couldn't see who it was. Comrade Dilf said, right? We are just tired, y'all. I mean, I would say mostly, like, yes, I'm tired of the system. Obviously, I'm not tired because I'm also working for my people. Because I'm in the revolution every day. I wake up and I'm like, all right, time to put the coffee on. Time to get to work so we can bring more comrades in, so we can keep on pushing and actually build and make a difference, right? And that's the thing, like all those other people that aren't named, that haven't, their names aren't in the media, right? That have been killed between Emmett Till and Trayvon Martin. Where's the cry for them, right? And that is the literal thing of not just liberal media, but the way that liberal politics work, right? Is that there's just constantly like, oh, well, this one got people riled up. Okay, riled up for what? Riled up for just some prayers, just some well wishes, right? Riled up to go off for a little bit, to rise up for a little bit and then sit back down. And like you said, I think also F. Joe Biden, right? Like it is also riled up just to go back to sleep once we get a Democrat in office, a Democrat that doesn't do anything for our people, that if anything does worse for our people. More people have died during this pandemic or whatever since when Trump was in office, right? Like this is absolutely, like this is getting ridiculous, y'all. If you really believe in the system, you need to wake up. There's absolutely there's no excuse that actually makes sense if you think about it, even for like 5 minutes. Give it 5 minutes, y'all. Think about it hard. Do some research, and you'll be able to see how much bull crap they continue to put down our throats, how much bull crap they try to sell to us. So yes, if you actually want to make a difference, you should know that revolution is the only solution to actually save our people, to actually make sure that our people are, get what they deserve, have dictatorship over their lives, land, labor, and resources. So yes, land back with the comment.
Land back. Yeah. It's just sad is not even the word. It's disgusting to reduce someone's life to it inspired Black Lives Matter. That is disgusting and disgraceful. That little boy deserves so much more, right? All of our little boys and girls and children deserve so much more, especially to just be credited for a liberal organization that steals from the people, that uses the people and our pain for their gain to buy $1,000,000 homes. His life is worth so much more than that. That is a disgrace to say that to him in front of his mother. To say your sons inspired this liberal, thieving, disgusting organization. That was the first thing I thought when I watched that clip. You know, and like y'all said, throughout, you know, from Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin to today, there's been these like highlighted lives. Not even lives, deaths. Highlighted deaths. Their lives, they don't care. If anything, when the people highlighted do die, the liberals, the media, they dig to find something to justify their death. Right? Oh, they had a criminal record. Oh, they were violent before. Oh, this, that, whatever. What the F ever. We get reduced to just bullet points. And that hasn't changed in 10 years. And it's not going to change until we change it. You know? And like also, you know, these are the lives. This talk is always around when pigs like blatantly kill us, right? We don't talk about how every colonized death is on their hands, right? These are the ones that were physically, blatantly taken by guns, right? Someone pulled the trigger, and that's it. They don't talk about all the people that have died in the pandemic. They don't talk about even how horizontal violence is on them. You know, horizontal violence is because of white power, and those deaths are on them too. We don't talk about medical neglect, medical genocide. We don't talk about just poverty, homelessness, right? All of those people who die because of the system matter. And it's because of everybody, every single one of them, that there is a Black Camera Party, right? We're fighting for all of them, not only to honor their lives, but also to stop it from happening, you know? Exactly, like yes, exactly, even suicide, right? That comes from the colony too. All of those lives that colonized people, you know, they find any way out. They find any way out. And sometimes it's accidental and sometimes it's on purpose. But it is on them. Right? And like, I can't wait until we can compile a list of names where every single colonized person gets to name all of their loved ones that the system has forgotten, right? And we can say it's for them that we're building this city, that it's for them that we're building this country. It is for them, right? So, yeah, it really disgusted me that they broke down this little boy's life to just that. Because he is so much more, just by just by being alive, just by being a colonized child, deserves so much more. And his mom deserves so much more than to hear that about her baby. And so, you know, for Trayvon Martin and for all of the babies, you know, we will keep fighting for their memory and to prevent the loss of more of our babies. I'm back.
I'm back. Thank you so much for that, Chief Watakami. And, you know, as people have said in the comments, the way that, you know, this would have impacted us if we weren't hammers would have been very different. You know, we could have been depressed. We could have been, what's the point? Where does this go? But because we are hammers, because we are a revolution, we know where this is going to go. And it's going to go toward victory over the systems that kill our babies. And so, we're out here. We're still out here. Black Lives Matter ain't out here because there hasn't been a death for them to highlight. Not enough people are dying, apparently, for them to be out here during the whole pandemic. So, Black Hammer's gonna be out here no matter what. I am back. Alright, make sure y'all are still sharing. Make sure y'all are still liking. Make sure you click the thumbs up to like this video as well. But we're gonna get into our next topic, y'all. And, you know, for those sellouts, you know, there's a special thing that might happen later on when the revolution comes, you know? I don't know what that one was.
That would be the casings falling.
No, the case that we use for the bubble wrap to wrap packages. Yeah. Yes, yes, that's the casing for the packages, like the peanuts in the bubble wrap. Exactly. It's very loud at the box making factory. All right, laying back. We're going to go to our next topic. Laying back.
With the Omicron surge fading and COVID hospitalizations plummeting, more states, cities, and businesses are easing pandemic restrictions. But Dr. Anthony Fauci warning it may be too much too soon.
We better be careful because it is a bit risky to doing something prematurely.
Soon, every state except Hawaii will drop their indoor mask mandates. New York State says it won't enforce a booster mandate for healthcare workers, staffing shortages, while both the governors of California and Utah say they're shifting to an endemic approach to coronavirus. Colorado's governor says the focus should be on vaccinations, not mandates.
There's a lot of Americans of all persuasions that react very negatively, rightfully so, to being told or forced to do something.
Major companies like Carnival Cruise Line are relaxing restrictions too, making masks optional for all passengers starting March 1st. Meanwhile, the U.S. Surgeon General has announced that he and his family tested positive for COVID, including his 4-year-old daughter, who's not yet eligible to be vaccinated. Dr. Murthy tweeting in part, our safety measures reduce risks, but they can't eliminate risks. Nothing can. So what precautions should parents with small children take?
Make sure that as many people around them are vaccinated. And even though there are not great masks that fit young children, trying to have them with any mask, even if it's a fabric or cloth mask, something is better than nothing.
California becoming the first state to formally change to an endemic phase of the pandemic, as we mentioned. They're stockpiling masks and establishing better infrastructure for vaccinations. Other states could soon follow suit.
Slowly but surely, we're getting there. All right, thank you, Gabe.
Go ahead, Minister Cantuli, kick us off.
Thank you. Yes, no, I'm back. This is just annoying, y'all. I'm just so.
ASMR. I know the pandemic gets you riled up, but you need to be ASMR riled up.
Okay. Y'all, I don't it does not make sense. None of it makes sense. How are you going to say that? First of all, let me just start with one point. Cloth masks do not work at all. Okay, I don't care what that person was saying. Oof. This is really hard to be quiet with. It does not matter what that person says. When it comes down to it, the science breaks it down. Okay, and the science says that the particle size is way smaller than any fine cloth. Okay, so when you breathe out from your mouth, right? That's why it is so easy to breathe in cloth masks. These cloth masks aren't protecting us, right? We have our KN95 masks that we wear underneath these when we go out into public. And the reason why we wear them is so that we are safe from Rona and from, honestly, even pollution. Like, you know, it's great, you know, especially if you live in a big city, you know, that is heavily polluted. It protects you from that as well, and from all the other germs that are out there, right? And also, it doesn't. Also, I would like to say too that there is a whole nother variation that is happening, right? That they aren't even talking about yet. And the only reason why this liberal media isn't talking about it yet is because there hasn't been like too many spikes going up, right? And that's according to them. Like, I don't even know if I trust these numbers anymore, honestly. There's a lot of these testing centers are closing. Not as many people are getting tested. So if it was cases by test, who knows what, or like the number of cases versus the number of tests, that might look a little bit different. But yes, this new variation is found in Denmark. Shout out to Chief Yabe for sending me that article. And you know, that is extremely more, it's just as, what's the word I'm looking for? Contagious. It's just as contagious, if not more contagious, than the last one, Delta, or Omicron, but it can cause a lot more harm in your body. It causes a lot more illness and hospitalizations. So, you know, and you know, the liberal media isn't covering that. But you know what? You know what protects you from any variation, from any kind of illness? These masks, okay? And N95 masks that you can get for free at blackhammer.org/free mask. And you can get even kids masks if you need it for, like, you know, toddler age kids, you know. And make sure that they're also protected, because it doesn't matter if you have an age, if there's a age limit to these, you know, jobs that don't even work. These masks, doesn't matter what age they are, these masks work. It doesn't matter what, you know, what else is going on in the world, these masks work. So yes, y'all, you know, please make sure you're staying safe. We have other information on our website, including not just COVID prevention, but COVID care. So if you are starting to feel sick, make sure to check that out so you can make sure that you are getting healthy. It's blackhammer.org/COVID care, so that we can, you know, keep on building this revolution, keep on serving our people, and yeah, actually making a difference. So yeah, land back.
Part 2. Land back. No, I think Minister, you covered all the points beautifully. I want to know why the F California is lifting mask mandates. California has steadily been the epicenter of this pandemic for so long. Utah, I'm not surprised. They wild. Like, Utah has also stopped mandatory reporting, so they don't even report daily cases anymore, right? And so that's going to be happening to other states too, right? And this endemic approach is them just confirming that they do not care how many people die. They do not care. Endemic, you're going to keep dying forever until the end of time. Literally, the end of time. It's an endemic. there are so many words I want to say that I cannot, so just imagine them. Imagine them in your head. I even wrote down notes so I could, okay, yeah, so states are starting to stop reporting, and then the mask mandates, except for Hawaii, because it is a mostly colonized state, and these wild ass, can I say crackers? Saltines. These saltines keep going over there. Just because they have the jabs or the shots or whatever, and killing all of the indigenous people there. So, salute to Hawaii and the people fighting for themselves, and, mandating still that people wear masks. But again, it is a K95 mask that will keep you safe. And we will ship them anywhere in the world. We will find a way to get you your K95 masks. Fill out that link and you will be hearing from personally either myself or Minister Kantunde. Literally, the people you see on this screen will call you to get you your masks, because we are a revolutionary party. Thank you for the charades. We are a revolutionary party, and we will do whatever it takes to keep our people safe. So order your masks. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter. Please be colonized, though. That helps. And donate to our chapter, because we do provide the masks to ship those out, right? So again, Black Hammer Shy on Cash App and Shy Hammers on Venmo, to get masks not only to the people of Chicago but to people worldwide. One more thing about the new variations. I think it was QC who said it, or somebody else, self-critical, that they're coming from mostly jabbed nations. Does that sound like a pattern? Does that sound like maybe science? Does that sound like maybe because people are still spreading it and whatever without a mask, no matter how many jabs or which kind you got or however many times you got it? Or maybe that is causing the variations? Does that sound like maybe, hypothesis that people should look into? I don't know. Also, why does Fauci sound like Dracula? That's all. Laying back,
everybody. And, one thing I wanted to say, first I wanted to let our Ministry of People's Affairs cover it, because that's their expertise. And they brilliant as hell. So let them lay it out. I did want to lay out one thing about, I saw in the New York Times today, they showed the global hotspots for the virus. And apparently, this is the first time I've ever seen it. The United States is orange. But guess what country they showed is really deep red? Russia. Trying to show a strong United States and a weak Russia through the virus. There's no comparison. We're about to hit 1 million deaths here in this country. Russia, nowhere near that. And most of Europe is a hot spot right now. And most of Europe was pretty dark red. Because it's nasty. It's nasty, y'all. It sounds like this on the streets every day. Sorry. Europe does not make us feel good. It doesn't make us feel good inside. But yes. Oh, thank you, Virgil. Virgil's putting 5 on the Shy Hammer chapter Cash App. 5 for Shy. Thank you, Chief Virgil. We appreciate it. But yes, I think it's interesting how they're going to try to propagandize even the virus now to pit the U.S. against Russia and say that Russia's doing a worse job when all the evidence points to the other side. Oh, Europe is a mess right now. It's like the plague mixed with a war. They're about to pop off over there. The EU got weapons for Ukraine. First time the EU's gotten weapons publicly. to another country during wartime ever since its inception. It's another time period, y'all. But yes, keep on donating to our Cash App, Black Hammer Shy, to help us get the mask. And make sure that you also are liking, sharing, subscribing, right? To get this out here and let people know that they can get their own K95 mask. All right, we could go to our next topic.
And make sure to turn down the volume in case it's too loud for you. I am back.
The freezing temperatures could not come at a worse time for one group of homeless people in Chicago.
They've been living at a hotel for a year, but now they're being forced out.
Tia Ewing live with more on that story. Tia.
Well, the city says since they started renting rooms at Hotel Julian, 450 people have come in and out. Tonight, we met a woman who's being forced out. She's getting back on her feet. She just started a job program, but is now forced back into a temporary shelter. Latrice Madison is being forced to relocate after calling Hotel Julian home for 120 days.
During me being homeless, I was sent here.
The city of Chicago was footing the bill, renting 175 rooms for the homeless starting in February of 2021 because of the pandemic.
I've been here for about 9 months.
But 2 weeks ago, some residents, according to Madison, were told they had to go with very little to no warning.
People was getting knocked on the door the next day after the mandatory meeting.
The city of Chicago's Department of Family and Support Services did respond to that claim, saying, quote, some shelter beds have become available before the final move-out date of February 25th. In November of 2021, City Council extended a deal to pay more than $500,000 a month for some of the city's homeless to be housed here. Add it all up, and that's $6 million for 1 year. The city did not say it became too costly, but residents say it came down to one big issue.
Funding.
So funding being the big issue there, the city says that they did use partnerships to relocate 172 people. They say that no one was relocated, lost out. They all had somewhere to go. Live tonight, Tia Ewing, Fox 32, Chicago.
Laying back, everyone. Goodness gracious. This is just, again, the failure of colonialism. Just so deep, so deep, so deep. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, at the Black Hammer Party, we are serving the homeless every single day. And we are here to make sure that, you know, our people, no matter where they are, no matter what situation they are in, that, you know, they're getting politically educated, getting served, and being brought into revolution. And, you know, this hotel downtown, it's this Hotel Julian. It's like a fancy kind of mini room hotel. It's not like this like giant room, I don't think, hotel. I think it's a little bit more modern and whatever. And, you know, of course it's empty because it's the pandemic. Just like F. Joe Biden says, I believe, that it's infuriating because these hotels are going to be empty anyways. And so because the shelters were being so overcrowded because of the pandemic, people losing their jobs, quitting their jobs, you know, whole families out on the street, that they opened up this hotel. But one thing I didn't know the city was paying them that money for it. And there's just so many questions on like who is getting that money, because the city could have easily not pay that much for that to happen. But why this hotel? Why that amount of money? And all of a sudden it just stops because some beds opened up, and they didn't say where. They didn't say they're gonna get people to them. You know, that one sister, she was packing this to get into a car to go somewhere. She looked like she was on her own. She was on her own, right? And you know, all these hotels, all this housing, we see it every day in our cities. We see these foreclosed buildings. We see these places that aren't good enough for white rich people, right? And so they remain empty, and no one's living in them. And, you know, there's so much space for our people to get off the streets, but the city ain't gonna do nothing about that. But, you know, Black Hammer is the one who's housing our people. You know, Black Hammer is the one who's feeding and clothing our people all over the world. And so, as much as the city might not be able to uphold a $6 million a year contract to keep people in hotels, Black Hammer is doing it with much less. It doesn't take that much money to make sure our people are safe and have a roof over their heads. If you just organize for them, and we know this government is not organizing for them, it's organizing for their genocide and our genocide. We're organizing for our people's lives. And so if you need that, then you have to get connected and join the Black Hammer Party. I'm back. Minister Cantuli, what you thinking?
I'm back. Yes, this is disgusting. I think it's also very convenient that as soon as the temperatures start to rise a little bit, just the tiniest bit, not enough to, not wear a sweatshirt, not enough to be sleeping outside comfortably, but just enough that there might, there could be less, people freezing to death, and that's just the beginning, right? Like, we don't know what these temperatures are how they're gonna fluctuate. It's spring, y'all, barely. Not like just, basically just this week, just today. And I think it's very interesting because, Chicago is beautiful, apparently. Never been here in the summer, but it's apparently really beautiful in the summer, right? And I think it's very interesting that they're deciding to do this as soon as it starts to warm up. I think it's also very interesting that they're doing this as soon as they're lifting their, mask mandates and everything as well, so that, they can start having people like guests in those hotels and stuff. It's just, they're more worried about getting their money's worth than they are about making sure that people just have a place to sleep, which isn't anything new, right? If they cared about people having a place to sleep, then they would open up those businesses that are empty, right, as homeless shelters for the night. They could do simple things. There are so many brilliant people out there if if they had resources, colonized people like me, Watakame, Oju, and every hammer in here, that can think of at least 5 different ways that people could have housing worldwide, right? And even in Chicago, right? Like, we're gonna start housing people here, right? In Atlanta, we've been they've been housing people there, and we're working our way to be able to house homeless people everywhere, poor working class colonized people everywhere, and we're just gonna keep on doing that because the system definitely ain't. So yes, I'm back.
Yeah, like Comrade Delph said, there's enough houses in the U.S. to house absolutely everybody. And not even just like, oh, everyone gets some housing. Everyone could have a house. Like, everyone could have their own single house. It's ridiculous. And like, we'd be driving over here, like in Chicago, different parts, and there are these like huge mansions. Like huge mansions just in the middle of Chicago. And in the alley next to it, there's homeless people. And like these hotels or this like temporary housing or whatever, I'm not surprised that it's closing. I called that from the very beginning of the winter. It's also a cycle. It happens every single year. This is nothing new. And it's not just a Chicago thing. It's every city. Chicago's really liberal, so every winter they push all of these programs, right? Like the houseless people in the parks where we serve, we've been hearing for months how excited they've been about housing. And I said from the beginning, I was like, just wait. Like we have time to amp up our game, to get, more organized, to get more comrades, because come spring and summer, all of those people will be back on the street. Come spring and summer, funding's gonna cut. Spaces is gonna be shorter. And here we are. It's not a lucky guess. It's dialectical materialism. It happens everywhere, every year. And, this is one. Hotel Julian is one of the places. Right, the housing program here in Chicago is based on the landlords choosing to want to house people. How quickly is that going to change? You know, people are not guaranteed. That's why we deserve, and that's why we will take dictatorship over our lives, our land, and our resources, so that our people do not have to literally not live at the expense of another, right? Not live at the expense of a landlord, not live at the expense of a mayor, not live at the expense of a donor. Like, they can choose what their life is like, right? And you can do that. You can do that for people, not only by joining, but again, by donating, right? This is 172 people that are about to hit the streets in Chicago. You know, help us help them by donating, right? By donating, sharing the live so other people can donate, donating our post on Black Hammer Shy on Instagram. Like, those are all material things that you can do to help the people of Chicago, right? And do it for all of our chapters too. Because again, there are homeless people everywhere. Like, this is, you know, people with health contradictions and families and like all of that. Just, we need unity with each other. Unity and belief in the leadership of the poor working class people. And just, you know, choose to want to help. Choose to want to work for the liberation of the world by joining the party. But yeah, F the system, F Lori Lightfoot, because like that was like a couple million. Where are the billion, Lori? Where are the billion? $280 billion. Where to go? How many hotel stays could you pay for with that? That's all. All right.
Yeah, F these liberal mayors, yo. Lori Lightfoot's one of the worst. One of the worst. Ooh, laying back. Well, we could get into our final topic, y'all. You know, one that everyone's been talking about. And, you know, let us know in the comments the answer to the question on this title. You know, let us know what you think, because we want to hear in the comments what you think is actually the truth. All right, laying back.
So guys, a massive page on Instagram based in America, Hollywood Unlocked, have put out a post saying that Queen Elizabeth has passed away. With the caption, "Sources close to the Royal Kingdom notified us exclusively that the Queen Elizabeth has passed away. She was scheduled to attend the wedding of a British Vogue editor, but was found dead, story developing." Now, nothing has been confirmed. I want to tell you now, people like the BBC have a close relationship with the royal family. I'll be the first people to report it, not Hollywood Unlocked, I would have thought. And the owner of the page has put his comments on limited. A lot of people are giving them backlash and telling them to delete this post. Something to come out today saying that Queen cancelled her planned virtual engagements as she continued to suffer mild COVID symptoms, Buckingham Palace had said. The palace confirmed the 95-year-old monarch tested positive for coronavirus on Sunday and was planning to continue out light duties at Windsor Castle. A spokesperson on Tuesday said as Her Majesty is still experiencing mild cold-like symptoms, she decided not to undertake her planned virtual engagements today, but will continue with light duties. The page that posted it do crazy numbers as it is on general topics. Hollywood is always booming. I'm not sure why they would make something, or they're the first people to know from some sort of insider. This would be a massive breaking story. For some bizarre reason, Lizzie is trending on Twitter and not Queen Elizabeth of memes and talking about this situation. Comes out about the Queen and she actually did pass away. But if not, I'll also update you guys on the page's response and why they put that up. Leave a like on the video and of course subscribe with the notification bell for all the latest updates. I'll see you guys all in my next video. Peace out.
Camera TV. So you say that oh, Nadia says he's Depper from Manchester. Depper from Manchester, is that right? Well, yes, rolling on the floor laughing. But yeah, so there's this entire question happening right now. It's whether or not the Queen is dead. Now, Queen Elizabeth is very old. Very, very old. She's about 96 years old. and and I know I crack myself up a bit sometimes, but yes. So yes, the Queen apparently, according to Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked. So Hollywood Unlocked is an Instagram account with about 3 million followers. It's mostly colonized people following poor working class colonized people who follow this account, and they they post on celebrity news like Queen Naija or Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, and now they're posting on Queen Elizabeth because apparently Jason Lee, who runs it, Jason Lee is a this light-skinned celebrity gossip blogger who knows a lot of celebrities. Apparently he said that he had an inside source at Buckingham Palace, the center of royalty, that the Queen was dead. And it turns out the Queen is not dead. Jason Lee, earlier this week, Jason Lee apologized. He apologized and said, my source was wrong. And usually I'm not wrong. And he said, this is what he said. He said, if there's one thing I wish I wasn't wrong about, it was this, or was. He wished that he was telling the truth. Because he wanted, crumpets with the Queen, at least crumpets at her funeral. But it turns out he'll have to eat them with her alive. Joe Biden thinks she's dead. I think she's dead too, because they said she's not dead because she's on a phone call with the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. And I think it's strange that they prove someone's alive because they said they were on the phone. But no one heard a phone call. They just said she was on the phone. Yes, I think it's very strange. Minister Contule, tell me, do you think the Queen is dead?
This is what happens when you watch too much of the British baking show. But yes, ding dong, the Queen is dead. That's what I believe. So, y'all, and this is also what happens when sometimes, so randomly sometimes Oju will just use this accent sometimes, especially when he's really getting into cooking. So yes, this is our it's great. But yes, no. This entire mess is just I think it's quite hilarious. I can't wait to actually get the news. I think that it will be coming very shortly. At least I hope so. We shall see. But yes, y'all, just make sure to have your notifications on Black Humor Times on Instagram, because we'll be posting about it as soon as it does. But I think also this also proves a point that liberal media continues to only it's controlled by the system. It is controlled by it doesn't matter who it is. It is it's controlled by the system regardless. Whether it's army, like the US media, or it is the original saltines over there that are controlling it. Either way, we shall see what happens very soon. So yes,
Land back. Yeah, I understand British people now because of Oju. I used to tap out every time I heard a British accent. I don't know. I don't know, man. But I get it now. I understand. I wish I didn't, but I understand. Yeah, I also think she's dead. I think they just they kept her cousin husband alive for how long? Like, I think they just couldn't make a robotic body for her skin fast enough. Because there ain't no way that man was alive. Like, they just couldn't keep the skin fresh enough, I don't think. They finally let him go. And I don't think they perfected the science for the queen yet, so they're just waiting. You know, I think like her body's frozen somewhere until they can come up with the robotics to, like, or what's that word? The animatronics, to make it realistic, you know? Because again, what's her husband's name? Cousin what? Philip. Cousin Philip. That mofo died so long ago. For real, died a long time ago. And then they kept him alive. And this like farce, like random pictures of literally rotten flesh. It's just inside a car. Disgusting. So I think they're just trying to figure out how to do that for her. So I think we'll see. I think eventually we're gonna see a random picture of her in the palace, which is just like chilling. But it's not her. It's some like taxidermy type stuff. Cause I mean, white people are weird, bro. Like even, I want to say her ancestors, but probably like her great grandma were eating mummies. So I don't know. You know, I don't put it past them. It's gross. Madam. Exactly. Nadia, exactly. They're trying to find the wax figure. I don't know, bro. I think she's dead. God bless. Praise the ancestors. Amen.
And even if this audio is like released or something, like they're like, oh yes, no, for real, you know, it was a phone call. There's such thing as recordings. But yes, I'm back.
Yes, people are able to create really convincing deep fakes now. And, you know, they could put my face on the Queen's, and even though I'm African, they could still melt it somehow to make it look like I'm Queen Elizabeth II. And we can't trust anything that this media throws at us. We have to pretend, even if she isn't, we have to pretend that the Queen is dead, because that will empower us to remember that we have to take back what's ours. You know, her crown, the crown jewel, is a giant jewel from India, and all the other jewels on the crown come from colonized nations. They steal everything, everybody. They steal everything. And they're even stealing the formaldehyde and wax that's keeping her alive, or at least keeping her figure, you know, somewhat bearable to look at. And, you know, Prince Philip was, yes, a literal lizard mummy that they kept in the back of the car. And, yes, she's dead. And we have to, you know, get that crown back. Get the crown back and return the resources to the people of India, of Africa, of the Middle East, everywhere that this British hellfire monarchy has colonized. Alright? And I'm, you know, speaking this accent for all the colonized people who do have this accent. There's plenty of colonized people with British accents. I have been told that my accent's very posh, that I sound like I own a couple cars. I don't own a couple cars, but apparently my accent does. I just thought this is what TV taught me is British. It's fancy, apparently. So yes, but yeah, for real though, you better watch out. Because the revolution is coming for that crown. Went from Britain to Chicago real quick. You don't know what's coming. All right. From the people who will rise up. All right, land back. Make sure that again, everyone, donate. $5 for Shy, $5 for the Chicago chapter. You can donate to Black Hammer Shy on Cash App or Shy Hammers on Venmo. All right. Ooh. And then for our announcements, don't forget to watch the Revolutionary Church online every Sunday, live on Black Hammer Facebook page, and also you might catch some snippets as well on our Commander's Instagram page and Facebook page. as well as any other chapter pages that also might catch a live, but you can for sure watch it on Facebook, and you can watch it on YouTube afterwards. All right, woo. And then make sure to call the Atlanta City Solicitor's Office, 404-658-6618, extension 5, for the Atlanta City Solicitor to drop the charges on Atlanta Hammers who are out here clothing and serving the homeless of Atlanta and who got arrested in the process just for doing that. Let's get some justice. Call them to drop the charges, all right? And then next week we have the Revolutionary Book Trap. We are reading Open Veins of Latin America, pages 197 to 223. What does the sound of that book sound like? That's the sound of political education, the first part. The second sound of political education is the people's feet on the ground rising up because they have what's necessary. They have the tools ready to do the hard work that they need. Oh my God, we whole ass Foley artists. We could do a whole Disney movie with these sounds. They better hire us, Disney. We got some skills for you. No, we use it for the revolution. All right, we're Foley artists for the revolution. So yes, get your reading. Go to blackhammer.org/library to get access to that book. All right.
Virgil's right. The book trap do always be popping. So you don't want to miss it, and you can catch up on this YouTube page.
Yes, the book trap's always popping. Thank you very much, Virgil. All right, y'all. Well, it was lovely being with you for this evening, for this anti-colonial news. I'm Chief Oju.
Minister Cantule.
I'm Chief Oju.
Minister Cantule.
Watakame.
And y'all have a good night. Laying back.